everyone, my name is Marinda and I almost finished the Bake Better Bread course by RJ from my Yummy Spatula, and I wanted to share my experiences with you. First of all, let me say I'm very happy that I took the course because I was a bit struggling with baking bread. I was making bread and you could definitely eat it, but it would never look like the picture and it would make me a bit of a frustrated baker. So I would try a different recipe and it turned out a little bit better, but then I would try another different recipe, and every recipe said to do something a little bit different and other than the other ones, so I still didn't really know how to bake really good breads, and I definitely didn't know the science behind bread. So this was my main reason to take this course, to understand making bread and how to improve my own bread making skills. So I am happy that I took this course because of multiple reasons. And first of all, because it's an online course. And I have to admit, I was looking into doing a workshop or something like a real life course, but it was all very expensive and it was also very time consuming. And then I stumbled upon this course, and the amount of things RJ shows you and tells you about, and all the bread you're making, like this whole 8-week course, I don't think you can find it in a real life course without paying lots more money than this course will cost you. So I'm really happy that it's an online course because we can rewatch the videos for our lifetime. I mean, obviously you don't want to watch the video every day, but if you're making bread and you want to look back on how to shape it, or something she talks about in module 3, for example, of course you can look back into the video. And personally, I took a lot of notes, and of course you get the recipes, but sometimes I just like to see someone do it over and over and over again, so I can really understand how it works and how to shape it when I have to do it by myself. Secondly, we had our weekly calls, which was also online, of course, and it was really helpful. Mainly because I had someone that held me accountable. Like, you have to make the bread every week when you're doing this course. And in the weekly calls with RJ, I could show her how I did. So during the baking, I made videos and I made photos and I sent it to her, and she responded via the app, and then she already shared some of her feedback. And during the baking call, she had some extended feedback. She asked a lot of questions, and I could also ask a lot of questions, and it was really nice to not only do that once, but every week. So if I had questions about shaping in week 2, for example, I could improve the shaping, but then I stumbled upon something different and I could ask that in week 3. And then in week 4 I had another question about shaping, which was totally fine. So I could ask over and over and over, and she was really helpful, and the feedback was so great. It was always very nice. It was also very easy to understand and very easy to implement, which was great because usually I had the time to make the bread twice, which is definitely not required. But if you have the time, I would suggest you do it, because if you bake it for one time, you kind of understand the recipe and how it works. And if you bake it for the second time, you have a lot more fun. You know how to do it and you could implement the things you learned from the first bake. And you have 2 breads. So a third reason why I really liked it is because you bake it in your own kitchen. And I like that a lot more than baking it during a workshop in someone's highly professional oven, which also generates steam, because I don't have that. So if I learn it in that way, then I still struggle at home. So now RJ really showed us how you can make it at home, and I could see if my oven had a different temperature than hers, or if my fridge is behaving differently, and the shaping on my counter maybe stick a little bit more, for example. So it's really nice, and yeah, I really like that I now know the science about bread a lot more. My favorite part about this was making the sourdough bread, which might be obvious, but we made our own starter. We also well, we made a levain, of course, and then we made the bread, and she showed us different kinds of shaping. She showed us different kinds of how to bump up the hydration. And the bread came out so great. I did a workshop on sourdough once, a real life workshop, not an online one. And then I tried it at home, but it never came out so good as it did now. It's simply because I understand everything more and because she explained it so well. And then I also really like making the baguettes, just because I like baguettes. They are my favorite bread. And there's also a module about whole grain and whole wheat multigrain loaf, which is just great for everyday life. So I have my freezer full of bread at the moment, which I really enjoy. My boyfriend also enjoys it, and sometimes my friends when I share the bread. And this workshop has the title Bake Better Bread, and I can only say it is the best fitting title there is. Because yes, you will be making better bread than you did before. Definitely 100%. If you follow this course, you will learn so much. And I can only suggest that you take a look at the website and that you take a look at how to enroll. And before you enroll, you will always have a personal conversation online with RJ. So you can already get to know her. And you can ask all of your questions, and I'm sure she will be happy to answer all of them. So if you still have any doubt, please stop doubting and just take the course. It will be wonderful. And I have to go now because I have to make sourdough bread and my levain is ready. Bye bye!